Hello, chat room. What is up? It is Sunday afternoon for me, and welcome to a Mashed Potato Monthly chatting stream. I tested the connection right before this, and it was fine, and now it's not fine. Cringe. Sweets, what up? Hello, but hello everyone. Yes, it's me. I'm back again. You know, if we have internet problems, we'll just keep rolling with it. I will put a pin message, and then if it gets really bad, we'll just pull the plug and try again another day. It's no big deal. No big deal. Doob internet, yeah, I can only be this strong in these moments thanks to the example of Doobie 3D. I realized it's that she's just really open about all of it, because I was trying to describe it in another stream, but instead of like being quiet and like trying to fix things and being like, hold on everybody, and like fixing stuff, and like, you know, like she's like, oh god, now this is wrong, and oh now this is, oh Jesus, you know, oh fuck. And she's just pretty laid back about it all. It's really admirable. Yeah, she has fiber internet now, but it's like, I don't know. It does seem like crazy, but I think it's probably her household. I think probably has a lot of more devices on it, and you know, it's strained. But you know, if that's part of your job, you'd think you could figure something out. Tell the little bro to log off Fortnite. But anyways, chat, we are here. I've got a hopefully nice, not too disruptive background song playing now, and I finally figured out how to set it up on my computer so that I can hear it at a more realistic, or at the same volume that you're hearing it. She moved to an office. All right, well then now she just needs to talk to. Maybe she needs to buy new cables. You know, something's still not. Something's not right with the internet. But I did last. She was like, sometimes it takes a few days when you get new internet. And I was like, maybe. I guess that could be true. I would be mad if I was her. I would be upset. But she's a pro. So no big deal. But chat, we are here. I have some cool stuff for us to talk about today. I'm feeling pretty good about this one, so we at least have some things to discuss and look at, and hopefully it's fun. So I've realized, you know, I should put a title for these. She do be a pro. You know, don't teach her about that joke, or she might go on and on about it. Who was I listening to? Well, anyways, maybe I'll mention that thought later if I remember. But yes, this is part 6, which is going over the month of June. It's the time that I had videos for once. Hooray! Okay, and I'll say it now and later on, but any streamer or video that we're looking at, most, if not all, of the links to their respected channels and videos will be in the YouTube description for you to check out, and I encourage you to do so. So here we go. Also, if the music is too loud, let me know, but it should be. I would like it to be kind of only really audible when I'm not talking, just like, you know, very soft, very, very soft. So or if it's too quiet, I guess let me know. But again, what is this? We've had this slide. This slide will always be here, probably. It does change ever so slightly as I rewrite it, but this is our monthly chatting stream with an ever-changing agenda. It's not a news show. I finally kind of like landed on that. This is not a place to come and hear about news of any certain topic. We will talk about news of topics, but that is not what this is for. So just getting that established, I feel good about that. You know, it's meant to be like a hangout session between me and chat, and to hang out, talk about what we did during this past month, and share any kind of stories that we want to share. And should be like a good time for people to tune in if they happen to be that busy, or who knows. I understand that there's lots of stuff that happens, so it's no big deal. Of course, everyone is welcome at any time. Not everyone. Most people are welcome at any time. Because as soon as I said everyone, my brain's like, you mean even murderers? It's like, no, okay, hold on a second. Let's back up. Is this not Mashed Potato Morning? This is Mashed Potato Monthly in the morning. It is that too. But oh god. Dude, I'm glad that I'm about to talk about what I'm talking about next, because I gotta remember to write that down. My ear just went like, I heard like a thud, like an inaudible thud. I don't know how to describe that. And then it started ringing just in one ear. It's like a soft ringing ping sound. If you guys don't know what ear ringing sounds like, just be so thankful that you've not experienced that. You probably will at some point. It shouldn't be like what just happened to me, though. That's something different and probably bad. But let's move on, because it's kind of relevant to the first topic about being responsible. So, in a few days... Oh god, oh Jesus Christ, I got this. In a few days, I have to go to the doctor. And it's the first time I've been to the doctor physically with my real body in a few years. The past few visits were virtual, and they were just for a discussion, basically. But this is going to be like a real checkup. And I've never been to this place before, and I've never met this doctor before. And I'm like not able to... I'm not able to calm down about it. I am, usually I can think of at least one way to say, hey, it might not be that bad, because blah, blah, blah. I got ligma? No, we don't know for sure yet, but, Man, it's not actually a real thing. I'm not worried that I have ligma, but if it really was a real thing, and then imagine you're told that you have ligma and the doctor's very serious, and then you're gonna... I would at least have a look of like, wait, what? What did you just say? You're not serious, are you? I wonder if a doctor's ever hit someone with that on their last day. But probably not. It's probably too risky, But yeah, I'm trying to, I need to go. I don't want to go. Like if you said, don't you just care about your health and like want to go? Am I allowed to say like, no, I don't care? Like I'm just more afraid of the fear of going is stronger than that. Even though I do care about my health slightly. But I'm going because it's like an obligation I have to take care of myself for a lot of people, including chat. I can like, the powerful overactive imagination can work in my favor in these instances, because I imagine members of Hololive being like, hey, you better go to the doctor. You know what I mean? It's like, you better go. What do you mean you haven't been to the doctor in years? What do you mean that, blah, 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 blah. It's like, they're right, even though they're not actually saying that. I can imagine it. And it's like, it's definitely helpful. So, I'm partially just sharing it here, so that way I can say I'm gonna do it. The appointment is next week. My parents are on vacation, like I said, so I'm gonna try not just to tank this on my own, it feels like. And, it's gonna be interesting. I'm just trying to convince myself, trying to think of a way to say that it's not a failure, even if I don't talk to the doctor about certain things, maybe, or something. I don't know what could happen. Just going and like meeting the doctor is kind of a victory anyway, but I wouldn't feel satisfied if that's all that happened, because really I want to go there for other reasons. But wish me luck. Probably the next time we chat after today, I will have gone to the doctor, so hopefully I will report back news. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to go to more doctors, which I don't, that's the thing I really don't want to do. Like, this is taking a lot of energy from me, and I know I sound like a snowflake when I say that, okay? But this is pretty hard, and the fact that I'm thinking he's just gonna tell me to go to like 5 other people, it's like, fuck, I so don't want to do that. I could make a list so I don't forget stuff. I told myself to make a list already this weekend, and then I was like, no, I can't. I'm too nervous. I've been semi-tactically avoiding thinking about it in any regard so I don't get nervous, but then I have it's Tuesday afternoon, and I took Tuesday off because I know I'm not going to be able to concentrate on anything during the day anyway. But I figured Tuesday morning, when I'm super stressed out, that's when I'll just do the list and everything, because I won't be able to concentrate on anything else. And maybe it'll calm me down. Or maybe I'll regret waiting so long to make the list. I don't know. But, I can do it. Subaru goes to the doctor all the time. Multiple times a week. I can do it too. I can go once a year. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do these appointments that mostly require you only to do one thing once a year, god damn it. That's only like another 40-something times in my lifetime. That's not even that long. Alright, I kind of dated myself with that, but you don't know how long I'm expecting to live, so good luck guessing. Next. Moving on. Get away from this boring stuff. Next. Let's talk about conventions. Like anime conventions. Not just anime conventions. Conventions in general. Conventions of the otaku nerdy kind. So Off-Kai Expo, which I didn't know until I was making the slide, which is a VTuber focused convention, just recently ended. And it made me think, like, I wonder, how does everybody else feel about these things? Because, like, I know how I feel about them nowadays. But I was like, you know, it seems like people still really like doing this kind of thing. And, you know, I don't know. It seems, I mean, I don't know. It's happening. So at least there's interest of some degree to where it's profitable for these various parties, including, like, the building owners and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's really just like a gathering of people and their similar interests, like a car show or like a book club. You know, it's just like a bunch of people that like VTubers or anime or whatever, Japanese media, etc. Depending on which convention you're at, you know. I've only been to 2 in my life. You think that they're good for merch? Yeah, just like how there's I guess there are some that have like official brands at, that's not the best way to say it, but they have these prominent brands that are selling merchandise at the conventions, as well as the freelance artists that are doing their own things, kind of their own brands, selling things as well. That is really cool and amazing. And I don't really know about like the panels and the movies and etc. like that. Like, I don't know what they show at all at Off-Kai. I'm assuming that some of what Off-Kai is like people teaching other people how to be VTubers or sharing their experiences. Like, there's probably some panels like that. But the ones that I've been to Otakon twice, which is like Otaku Con, I'm pretty sure. And I went once when I was like high school or middle school. So when I was like teenagers. And then once when I was in my 20s. So a few, like some time ago, some gap between those 2 visits. More like the second, you guess. Yeah. Yeah, at the, you know, like at Otakon they had a bunch of stuff, but that's because it's more just like general. It's just like Japanese stuff. basically, is what it feels like. When I went the first time, my mind was blown, man. It was blown, dude. Everywhere I looked, I was like, you know, there was like tons of people I didn't recognize because I was just not that into any of it that much. I had a few shows that I really liked with my friends, of course, and then, yeah, it was like a lot of fun. We went there and his dad just let us run around the whole thing by ourselves, which is probably not a great idea, saying that out loud now, but that's what we got to do, and it was sick. Now that I think about it, we made our own agenda, I guess, just by saying like, I want to do this and I want to do that. So we had one buddy that was kind of in charge of the group. We probably just followed his lead for most of it. But during that time, when I was younger, I saw what I think was the US premiere of Welcome to the Space Show, which is a movie I'll show the poster of in a second. And I think maybe either that or it was the US premiere of one of the Gurren Lagann movies. It was really cool. The raid lead, yeah, I mean, I think most friend groups have that kind of character where they're like, if this person starts liking something or they, you know, or they want to do this, like everybody is like so gonna do it just because, I don't know, that's just the guy that is the leader. He like does the things, you know, kind of like that. The Gurren Lagann movie was super cool. I thought I was gonna hate watching a movie in a group of people, but there was one moment where there was just like a moment of silence where like I think it was kind of meant to be like, you know, right when the hero arrives, but you haven't fully registered that he's here yet, you know, and it's like that moment where you're like, oh yeah, it's time, he's here. When that moment happened and that silence happened, some dude cheered and everybody erupted into a cheer. It was awesome. It was sick. I actually don't remember much about the movie, but it was a pretty cool experience. I also bought a Nia figurine. This is giving you guys just random insight into Young Mashed, okay? And I bought Negima on DVD. I'm not going to comment anymore about those two purchases. I'll just let you... you can judge me on your own. This is the figurine, though, on the right. It's really cute. It's pretty small, but it has like the little mole guy, and her foot like goes into a little slot on him so she can stand in this cool way. But she is pretty cute. And then the Welcome to the Space Show's on the left. I mean, just looking at that, you're like, what the... I don't know, maybe it looks like a generic anime movie, maybe it looks like something interesting. I think the animation, like the style is really cool. Plus, this poster's not really doing its service, but it's, what is it about? Yeah, it's I mean, it's a slight spoiler already just seeing that, but it's about a dog that these group of kids find. I think they're at like a summer school or a camp, and they save it or take care of it, and they help it somehow. And then it turns out the dog is actually an alien who is like a detective bounty hunter who operates on the dark side of the moon, and he takes them to the dark side of the moon, which is like where all this stuff is, and we can't see it because we've never seen that part of the moon, you know. And it's crazy, like it's crazy. It gets wild really fast. Like he has like this armor. It's so cool. It was really cool. Like, yeah, here he is fighting something. I couldn't find that many pictures of him in his armor, but it's like half off right now in that picture. It's pretty good, you know. It's been a while since I've seen it. People might watch it now and be like, that was forgettable, you know, but very fun memory for me. I don't even remember, like, you know, do they stop like a bad guy from killing someone? I don't even really remember what it's about. He's looking for someone, like the dog bounty hunter guy, but other than that, I don't remember. All right, next. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but we can restate what we said about casual multiplayer gaming. You know, lately there seems to be more and more of these casual multiplayer games. Maybe you call them streamer games. Maybe you call them slop. But I put them in the, you know, less than $30 category. And that they're like clearly aimed at being something silly to play with your friends. Okay? It's not like you're gonna look at Lethal Company and expect a deep narrative experience. Okay? I mean, like, that's just not what it's for. Yeah, and I don't really think that they're wastes of money or slop, because I think that there are versions of these games that are, but I don't think the ones that we've talked about so far mentioned fall in that category. You know, and I think a lot of people say that they're worried about only playing it once, but then, like, how do they feel about seeing a movie, or like going to a concert, or going out to like get some drinks with some friends? Those all end up being around $30 or more, you know? $80 Mario Party, yeah, that's another example. It's like, you know, and maybe you'll play Mario Party probably more repetitively. Like, it has more replayability than, say, Fall Guys does nowadays. I don't know what they're doing in Fall Guys, but, you know, I think... But then Mario Party's interesting too, because they come out with whole different games, like a whole editions, and like Fall Guys has just been updating it. So then, and another... There's like lots to compare and lots to think about. I don't know, I just think it's really interesting, and I think that I would not want to put down a developer who's thinking, maybe I'll make a game like that, and just be like, no, don't make more slop, bullshit, streamer slop, because you never know when this game is going to inspire a future game that really shakes something up, you know? So I don't know. I mean, and you don't have to play every game if you're not interested, then just don't play it, I guess. And I also am coming to terms with the idea that I don't have to change people's minds about things, and I don't have to try to convince people of anything or to do anything. I should just really talk about what I like and what I'm doing, and that's good enough. that's good enough. But yeah, I was curious, what do people think about these types of games? You know, Peak is the current one, right? I had some screenshots of it. I mean, it's like visually nice. It has like a style. There's different levels, you know, quote unquote levels with the worlds, like the viney one, and there's like a volcano one. The inventory, like the way the items work and stuff, was pretty impressive. I watched, I don't know, probably like an hour or two of gameplay. Just like the fact that there's all these different items and these different interactions with your, just really your stamina bar. Like that's all what it all revolves around, I think is really interesting. You know, if you have stuff in your backpack, it adds more weight to your stamina bar and you can't do as much stuff. That makes sense. It's pretty cool. So like if someone took that idea of like weight management or stamina management, you know, and like I saw that in another game, I can't really think of a game right now where I'm seeing that, oh, my hunger is keeping me from getting my stamina up. There's games that have that, but I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Or maybe it just affects like your max stun. It's just a nice way to see it visually, I think, too. Okay. Well, I am kind of moving through these fast, I'm realizing, but you guys are, of course, always welcome to chat about it, or whatever we've talked about before. Perhaps your mid-gaming session, I don't know. I never know what you're doing. Maybe you're playing Peak right now. But we'll move on, because the next one is a big one. That there's a new Rimworld DLC coming out on July 11th. I don't think that has been said. July 11th. It's in like 2 weeks. Okay, it's in like a week and a half. Very fast. But yes, we had most recently completed our Rimworld run, which was my first time playing on Randy. Oh, that's a real account. That account was made in 2019. I'll put you down gently. Hush now. Homo Neo. Yeah. That's so sad. Isn't that so sad? Is that the future of all of us? I think I've said that before. Is that the future of all of our accounts? He clicked a sus link. No, no, man. You think, there's like a non-0% chance now that someone might be like, hey, in the future, they may be like, hey, why am I banned in your chat? And I'll be like, I don't know, man. And I'll look and I'll be like, oh, it's because your shit got hacked. Lol. Hopefully not. Alright, but the new Rimworld update is sick. It's called Odyssey. When I first heard about it, I was pretty salty that it seemed to... that Tynan, the developer of Rimworld, seems to not be showing any love to tribal playthroughs. I have since then done not a full 180, but, you know, like a 160 degree on that turn, on that opinion. It's still going to be really good, although I still wish there was something tribal related, something more tribal focused instead of this. But we have 2 devlogs for us to skim through, so let's take a minute to look at it. Here's the DLC art, I don't know what you call it, the cover art. But it is actually pretty fun to analyze these things whenever they first come out, because everybody's like looking like, oh, there's a bird, like what does that mean? Or there's this new gun here, or there's this space station, there's these like smaller ships flying all around, and he has like a space mask, and there's some gems here, and some kind of minerals here on his side. And literally all of these things are in the update, so they do kind of have these hidden Easter eggs in there, which is pretty cool. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the patch notes now, and I will zoom in some because I know it's hard to see. So I think we're good there. Today's post is all about the planet. So there's 2 devlog. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna zoom out. Maybe, you know, no. I'll just lean back. That way you guys can still read it nice and easily. But this first devlog is about the world generation, which in my opinion is the part that made me relax about the no tribal updates. So, and we won't read every single thing because it would take me a long time and my throat would hurt really bad, but there are new map features and landmarks such as lava caves, obsidian deposits, drug stockpiles, and hippo habitats. Multiple features can be combined on one map. So there's like different river varieties here. So now most of the Rimworld games we had, it's like a snaky winding path for the river, and that's it. Now you have this river that's like splitting into 2, splitting into 3 or 4 different directions, rejoining itself, you know, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, but it will be pretty annoying to build around. And they've even kind of split up how the water works, you know, because back in the day there was no currents in water. Now there's even currents, and now there's something like headwater, where there's pools of water that flow downstream, apparently. And you can see here, you know, that's a delta and a coast on this base, so that's why they can see that stuff here. There's mixed biomes now, so you can have a temperate forest biome up at the top, and then at the bottom a desert biome, which is really cool. That's super cool, although I have no idea how that's gonna change stuff for your game. You know, like how, like, for example, will I be suffering from heat stroke if I'm down in the deserty area, but if I move up here, it's warmer? Or is the whole area just a mix of temperatures between the two, or what? You know, it'll be neat to see that. I was thinking this might be the time that I'm convinced to do an ice sheet run, because while it sounds absolutely miserable to do a completely only ice sheet run where there's just ice around and no animals and no trees and no plants and no food, it would be fun to maybe do one where there's like the sliver of trees and a sliver of animals, you know, just so it's not completely always hopeless at every moment. We can get the ice sheet experience without the suffering. Features and biomes can combine. You might settle in a tropical swamp, forest peninsula with cocoa trees, extra fish, and warm sunny weather. Doesn't that sound nice? Also, I was thinking maybe I've gone the wrong way with Rimworld. I've always played Rimworld in a chill simulator kind of way. So I'll have to think, like, how can I get what I want out of RimWorld while still keeping it fun for you all and keeping the suffering levels at a entertaining value, entertaining level. So there are landmarks that are being added now. Oh, I actually didn't see this part. I mean, I saw that there's like stuff like toxic lakes, a chem fuel refinery landmark, so like an industrial building. Oh yeah, with the toxic lake, ancient heat vents, and an insect mega hive underneath it. It's basically like pre-built stuff, kind of like pre-made landmarks. Yeah, that's what they're called. There's over 45 of them to explore, and here are examples of a few of them. They have some colonies that are like that are like fishing colonies. You know, like you can see they have like these docks, these nice kind of paths, and they live inside of a mountain, it seems. Bad idea, because it's all wood in there. They have abandoned colonies now, so you could find a colony full of like, you know, that looks like this. It's like half built. Probably more built than my colony that was destroyed by mechanoids. Now this is the one that I was the most excited for. Valleys, crevices, caverns, chasms, and hollows. So they've updated how like caves can work, and they've made it so you can have ice and snow on the walls. Doesn't that look super cool? I just think that looks so awesome. Like, you can really imagine. I don't know, maybe it's because I've played a lot of RimWorld and suddenly I'm like, whoa, ice on the walls. It's literally just another color and that's it, but it looks great. It looks so cool. And now I'm looking closer. These guys live in like an ice house. They have like walls made of carved ice and stuff. That's awesome. So they have another example of an oasis, like a desert oasis. Kind of nice. Ancient garrisons, launch sites, chem fuel refineries, and warehouses. This is on one of the volcano planets. They've added lava to RimWorld. I think that that is super scary. Don't you think that that's horrifying? That lava exists in RimWorld now? Before it just didn't, I guess. Scary stuff. Also, what are these big things, I wonder? They look like a big mortar, like a fancy mortar, or maybe they're like a deep drill. Either that or it's a 4-way turret. Now it has sandbags all over it. It's probably some kind of defense turret. But yeah, you might find all of these different places just wandering around, or when you're flying around in your spaceship. I actually don't remember if I mentioned that you get a spaceship in this DLC. That's the whole big thing. But this isn't about the spaceships. So some more foreign planet environments. They have this one called a glow forest. Hold on, I am going to zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole picture. But the glow forest, I'm pretty excited about, not because of the forest part, but because look how round and smooth these walls are that they've generated. I think that something has been changed with how these edges are being formed. Like, I would never have expected it to make such a thin, curved ridge like that. Or like down here. I don't know, it's pretty sick. I can really see it in my mind. Lava fields, I mean, you know, it's really cool and sounds terrifying to try to play on a place that has lava. But you can kind of imagine what your problems are going to be like if you're surrounded by lava. It does make raids interesting. Like, how are they going to raid you? They're going to have to do drop pod raids, which is when they send raiders from the sky, and they can land anywhere. There's scar lands, which are like lands. Would you believe the scar lands are lands that are scarred? And they're scarred from like war, nuclear, toxic waste. The rain's toxic, scaria, and wild animals. I thought that it seemed kind of cool to make like a toxoid waster faction and live there. And maybe play it like a alternate Fallout universe. And then they have the grasslands, which seems to be more for somebody like me. Endless golden fields, fertile land, and strong winds. This is the cowboy's paradise. So basically, it's like a place for you that if you really like ranching or farming, you might want to settle here. But the extra challenge is that the planet, these areas have a lot of lightning strikes. Yeah, we could be a cowboy. But you know, now that I'm remembering my chicken problem before, maybe we just don't get chickens this time. That was just a test. And then the glacial plains, so this is a more of a detailed view of the icy stuff that we saw. Food is scarce, fuel is precious, and the cold never lets up. Inspired by Ice Age survival, this biome is characterized by cold temperatures, crevices, and prehistoric animals like mastodons, scimitar cats, and great wolves. Carve shelter into the glaciers, fish from ice holes, and hunt the megafauna for meat and fur, but the real prize lies buried within the ice, the frozen ruins of a lost world. You'll find collapsed homes, crates of forgotten supplies, and crypto-sleep caskets that still pulse with life. This is one that I'm pretty excited for. You can play real tribal. That's pretty tribal-y, isn't it? Surviving in an icy area, tundra, hunting woolly mammoths with spears and arrows. Oh yeah. I can see a tribal playthrough coming out from that, even though it's not specifically for it. Here is where we're getting even more interesting. One of the few mods that I still told myself to use, I couldn't stop using, has been integrated into the base game. We have the ability for water to freeze now. And I'm pretty sure it works basically the same way that the mod did. But now you can even cut a hole in the ice and fish in it. So you can see, you know, as time's going on, the little ice tiles are popping in. And that's awesome. You can always walk over water in Rimworld, except for deep water. So it's like not like a big deal. But if something is deep water somehow, you're surrounded by deep water, and it freezes, then suddenly you have a new tactical concern. And even more impressive than that, now this is going above that. They made it so the water's dynamic, and this sounds so... This is like one of those things I'm like, did Rimworld need this, man? It's kind of adding a whole another level of stress, isn't it? You can see that the river is like expanding on the left and right. Not sure how that's gonna damage your buildings or what you own or anything, but they're saying, you know, you might have to build walls or sandbags to stop water from getting everywhere. Makes me wonder, can you manipulate the flow of the water and perhaps add the water into your kill box, you know, watch it destroy your base. Yeah, that could be possible too. You just floods your base and then like freezes in the winter or something. And yeah, it could be, it's cool though. It's still really cool. But could you make it so like you have a door, and then when raiders come, you open the door, you open the floodgates, right? And then suddenly your kill box is filled with water that makes them even slower to run through. But whenever you're not being attacked, you can close the gates, and then you can walk in and out without being slowed down. Plus, colonists get a mood penalty if they get wet. So, anyways, fun, cool stuff there. There's sandstorms now. Sandstorms which add dirty sand everywhere, would you believe? It says, annoying your colonists and leaving a big mess to clean up. Nobody likes sand. Just... because fuck you, that's why. Why did he add sandstorms? Because fuck you. It's realistic torrential rain, so that's how the flooding is going to happen, right? Toxic rain. Strong winds hinder movement across open ground but keep your wind turbines running. Blizzards, obscuring vision, turning walks into slow, cold trudges. But doesn't that look cool? Look at these guys and their mammoth and their pack of great wolves. Guns as they're trudging through the snow. Blind fog. Overcast skies. So yeah, so lots of fun stuff there, right? Planetary generation has been updated. Pre-made landmarks. Pre-made environments. But also giving the pieces for having multiple biomes in one tile, as well as updated map features that are all going to combine into like a new world generation time for Rimworld, is what I feel like. So that was the first update. The next one is about the spaceship itself. So also Rimworld right now is 20% off. You're not gonna get a better deal than that, most likely. Just saying, just for your consideration. Hashtag not an ad. So I actually didn't read this one as much as the last one, but this is how you get your spaceship. I guess a spaceship falls out of the sky and you have to repair it. But once you repair it, you can you have to build the walls and stuff out of certain materials and attach thrusters and whatnot. Oh my gosh. You guys wonder if this colonist was standing to the left where the thruster is, do you think he would have been instantly burnt and killed? Part of me hopes yes, but then part of me hopes no, because that would be so annoying. But yeah, you have the grav core, and there's new materials added to manage your ship. You can travel over your existing planet, or you can go into the orbit. Here's another ship. I'm kind of having a hard time grasping if this is an advanced in-game ship with lots of stuff, or this is a mid-game ship, you know. But they're all really symmetrical, which is something that I'm not a fan of. I think, you know, you can honestly build your ship at any size and shape. So building some weird ramshackled cargo ship sounds really fun to me. Also, hold on one second. Okay. Having internet problems again, but also I accidentally hit a key and thought I exposed something bad, but it was just my search history in Edge. See, if that would have been my real browser, you guys would have seen my search history instead of just whatever we're looking at here. Phew. Phew. Manga. You guys would have seen that I was looking up... I don't know. I couldn't think of something funny. Shouldn't have started that one. Let me back it up. You can use grav cores to build okay, you know, honestly, I'm not going to read about how the ship works, because it's just all new stuff, and it doesn't make any sense to any of us, because we don't know. You didn't see anything. Yeah, it's all good, although... I was trying to find a QR scanner. I couldn't find one that worked with what I'm gonna show later. Here's an example of a mega insect mega hive. That looks fucking... That must be a queen bug. That's not a bug that exists in the game currently. But its body looks like a mechanoid centipede, but it has an insect on top. Also, there's what is that? It looks like a little cocoon or skeleton. I don't know what the heck that is. I do love these in-game screenshot pictures like this, because they always have hidden stuff, you know, oh yeah, this guy. Oh yeah, this guy, I think he has one of the new weapons that you can get, which are special legendary I don't know, special weapons is the only word I can think of, but it's it looks like a red revolver. But you can build passenger shuttles, which sounds really cool to me. I thought that sounds fun, to build a big ship that has a bunch of little passenger shuttles all over it, and then you send people to different places. You could be a big taxi. You could be a big space taxi. So yeah, whether you're a nomadic explorer, flying trader, carrying peacocks and porcupines, or a stationary colony only using shuttles, or a hermit living in an asteroid, Odyssey opens up all kinds of new playstyles. Here's an example of all the different icons that you can visit in space, which is pretty wild looking. Back in my day, I couldn't fathom I remember seeing a similar screen for the World generation at one point. You can find orbital wrecks, so wrecked space stations. There's a better picture. Oh yeah, here. That looks crazy, right? The space station. Oh, I realize why it looks so wild is because you can see the world behind it. That's crazy looking. Can you just throw people off? Dude, how funny would that be, just to be Like, oh my god, when you exile someone from your spaceship now, you can just throw them into space. Actually, wait, there is something down here. Well, we'll find it later. This, I thought, I'm doing this for sure. Living in an asteroid? Dude, how cool is that? Doesn't that look awesome? They live in a giant, random chunk of rock. And then, you know, you have to think kind of differently on how it's going to work. They have a half of their base is just dedicated to building, to maintaining food. They have their own ship down here. And they have these, like, power stations here that are exposed to the sun. That's so sick. Another example of an orbital platform. So this is one that you could invade. This is probably not something you'll see me do. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Look at this thing, man. Are you crazy? Look at those 4 massive guns. Those guns are bigger than the ship. But pretty cool. Maybe you could, like, send a transport ship sneakily down. I don't know. Probably not. There are mechanoid platforms, so, like, ones with robots. We're definitely not going to visit those. And, just like how most DLCs come with new scenarios to help you get into the game, this one comes with one where you are being hunted down by mechanoids and you have to travel to their home planet and kill them. Also, the internet is getting worse, guys. It's getting worse. But yeah, hopefully that was cool to look into. I think Rimworld's got... I'm pretty excited about this update. Not sure how much space travel I'm going to do, but I will definitely be doing a lot of... having a lot of fun with the new map generation. Don't know when we'll see it again on the channel, but probably not when the DLC first comes out, but we'll see how it goes. I'm doing it. I'm adding the note. I'm adding the note so I can feel guilt-free about it now. Alright. Next. Oh yeah, next. Hehe. Hee hee. We have more clips to look at. Next, I'm talking about another game. Digimon Time Strangers. Which, if you've been following me on Twitter, you've seen the occasional me getting really excited about Digimon Time Strangers. Well, it's time to talk about it formally to everyone. Digimon Time Strangers, which is an upcoming RPG in the Digimon story series, is coming out in October, on October 2nd. The same month that Pokemon Legends ZA is coming out. So there's a lot of fun to be had that month, for sure. I think it's looking like a really incredible game. I almost say that objectively, although I know it's my opinion. I say it almost objectively because there's stuff for new and experienced Digimon fans, as well as casual and hardcore players. But if you cater to every audience, then it might feel like a watered-down experience, is what I would say. I'd be skeptical hearing that, you know? Like, well, if it's for everybody, then it's not going to be that great for anyone, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it's one of the Digimon story series, which began on the DS, but they say that it's a good entry point for everybody. And I think I'm going to believe them, because it would not be realistic to tell people to go back to the DS to understand what's happening in the game. And I might be wrong about that. It's kind of hard to... It's much harder to follow the timelines of Digimon media than it is Pokemon. But speaking of that, you know, I had read in some interview with some people related to these medias. I wish I had the quote now. But they said that, you know, Pokemon are usually cute, while Digimon could be considered cool. And I was like, that is like the perfect way, I think, to describe it without getting too like detail, like too like actually. It's true. Like, if you think about like some of the strongest Pokemon, like Arceus, who is the god of all Pokemon. Let me just let me just get a quick picture. So, this guy is Arceus, the god of all Pokemon. I don't really know if that necessarily means that he is the strongest, but he is one of the strongest, I think you could say, without a doubt. One of the strongest. Okay, and that's what he looks like. He looks like a magic deer. You know, he looks like, I don't know, right? So, versus... And, you know, Digimon have different levels, right? They have, like, different evolutionary stages. Okay, so it's a little hard to compare. But, of course, if this is the god of all Pokemon, then it must be fair to at least use the Digimon that's like, ultimate or mega level, okay? So, just literally comparing that to a run-of-the-mill random Digimon, such as Gundramon, who looks like this. They do. Arceus, he looks pretty cute in comparison to someone like Gundramon, who has more guns than body parts, real body parts. But I was like, yeah, that is actually so true. And, you know, I used a pretty extreme example with Gundramon, but even the baby Digimon have like belts and claws and fangs and crooked teeth and all these cool details that you wouldn't really think are cute. The thing about Digimon is you can't tell what the Digimon was before their evolution. Yeah, it's like a weird thing to get over that I still have problems with, but there is kind of like a canonical reason in a way, which is that unlike in Pokemon, like Pokemon, they evolve very strictly, you know, on a very strict line. Digimon in the shows digivolve semi-strictly as well, like pretty much like Pokemon, if you're talking like the original seasons of Digimon, where they can digivolve from Agumon to Greymon to more Greymon, but you're not going to see Agumon turn into Meramon, which is like a flame Digimon, for example. But in the games, and in some of the Digimon media, I could be wrong about this, because I'm a little rusty, but to me, it was explained as like, the Digimon can absorb all kinds of different digital data, and that also impacts what they digivolve into. And so with that in mind, like that possibility in mind, then it just so happened to be that the ones from the show digivolved that way, you know what I mean? And that's why in the games you can have Digimon that digivolve in ways that you wouldn't expect. And I think that I like that if you have the whole like it's the data that they absorb in mind, but it's kind of to each their own. Because in the games, they did add, in one of the games, they added like a evolutions only, like a mode that means they only evolve into the ones that you would expect them to from the show, if that makes sense, because people felt odd about it. So if you feel odd about it, like me, you're not the only one, but ultimately, I think it's cool. From like a game design point of view, it's cooler that they can evolve into different things that you might need for your game, but consistency wise and like ease of understanding, it is kind of hard to keep track. And it is like that one picture where they're like, Pokemon are like this, like 1, 2, 3, and it's like Digimon are like this, and it had like a refrigerator. All I remember is there's a refrigerator with 2 Gatling gun turrets on the side of it. That meme is very accurate. But let's go and scroll down and talk about some of these tweets that I've been seeing that have gotten me hyped about Digimon Time Strangers, which is this first one from, and all these are from this really great account, Data Ravel. So shout out to them, and I'll put their link in the description. But the producer, Hara, who is, I believe, the one they're quoting for most of these, one of the things they said is that This isn't a game made for children. It's not. You don't have to design games for children anymore, because nowadays it feels even that children, they want things that are aimed at adults. They don't want a baby story just for them. They would rather get a real story, I guess. Don't know if that part's true or not, but the fact that they said that makes me feel good. Not just for babies. Great. Another one. One of the favorite details from the interview, Digimon riding, which is the ability to ride on your Digimon like in the game, has no actual function in the game. It's just something that they added for fun. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, man. That's heck yeah. And I'm sitting there, I thought about it, I was like, man, but isn't that kind of weird to ride your Digimon? Like, I don't know. It's one thing if they save your life and you ride and you're like riding them because to like get away, but like just to like ride around on your Garurumon while you're shopping, isn't that kind of mean? Like, is that kind of wrong? It feels wrong to me. I don't think I'm going to use Digimon riding too much, but there's also another quote where they talked about how they were going to make it required to do stuff, and then they were like, nah, it'll be more fun just if you want to do it for fun. And it's not just riding them. Sometimes, like with Beelzemon, you can ride on his motorcycle, or with Gardamon, I think you ride on his shoulder. So that's cool. So, you know, those are both like feel-good things. But what about the game itself? Well, they do have, they've gotten rid of random battling from what it seems like, so no more random encounters. I'm for that. And even though I still do like random encounters, and in exchange, they've done it where there's like an overworld character and you can walk up to them to battle them, or if you tell them to attack, if you attack them and your attack does a certain amount of damage based on their health or something similar that works like that, you don't have to battle and you get the experience and all the rewards, you know? And I was like, what a great quality of life for less grinding, because Cyber Sleuth, the game that came before this one in the series, I think that was the biggest complaint about the game, was that there is a need for grinding even on normal difficulty to some degree using Platinum Sukamon and an item called the Tactical USB. Scrolling down, more game-related things. Although the game has engaging battles, extra hard content was prepared for the Digimon Storytime Stranger after finishing it, including a super hard mode. Some subquest battles are so hard you can't beat them with basic training, and you'll question if winning is even possible. There's quite a clear jump in difficulty between the main content and post-ending content. They were balanced for those who really want to study and master the game's system, and you can restart on New Game Plus with all of your data in super hard mode. I mean, that's like check. That sounds good to me. That sounds great for people that want the extra challenge, you know? So going back to like it's catering to all these different types of fans, it's pretty good. And then the last one, I just thought this one was feel good too. Hara, the guy who is working on this, had watched Digimon Adventure when he was about the same age as some of the characters in the show. And he said he spent his time thinking maybe Digimon are real, you know, and I want to be a chosen child. I want to be a Digidestined. So he said he's really happy to be to be the producer on Time Stranger, adding his own touch to the game. And I think you can see that, like, in the writing, for example. And the fact that, I didn't put it in here, but the Digimon will say their special attacks names, which is, like, not something that they always do, but is, like, a big thing in the show. And with that, I do have some cool Digimon clips. Cool, I say cool, I think they're cool. Digimon clips. They're pretty short, though, in comparison. The first one that we're going to look at, it's actually not a clip. It is, oh. Okay, never mind. My internet was not happy for me for a second, but you have 3 starter Digimon, just like you do in Pokemon, where in this case, your 3 starter Digimon are, the first one is Patamon, and I'm going to read the descriptions, because this isn't the Patamon from Digimon Adventure, right? This is just a different Patamon entirely, although they are anatomically the same. A mammal Digimon known for its large ears. Patamon can use these to fly, but since it can only do so at a little over 1 kilometer an hour, its walking speed is said to be considerably faster. Patamon's special move is Air Shot, taking in a deep breath and then releasing a powerful blast of air, which is called Boom Bubble in English. But I think I like how Air Shot sounds in Japanese now. You can have Gomamon as your partner, a sea beast Digimon that can move on land that's covered in a temperature-regulating fur. Its claws are sharp enough to cut through solid ice with ease, and anyone who underestimates Gomamon is in for a rude awakening. Its special move is Marching Fishes, with which Gomamon commands a loyal squad of small fish to attack, and they're also very colorful. I think Gomamon was like he became one of my more recent favorites. How is it a mammal if they come out of eggs? Well, a platypus is a mammal that comes out of an egg. So if it's for some reason possible for the platypus, then it must be possible for Gomamon. Yes, that's my answer. And then lastly, you can have Demi-Devimon, a small Digimon resembling a bat. It makes up for in malicious cunning, and is always causing trouble somewhere. Demi-Devimon's special move is Demi Darts, which throws giant syringes at the enemy to drain its blood. Now see, that's where the cool versus cute thing is coming. It's like, maybe you could say Demi-Devimon is kinda cute, in a way, but then he's shooting giant syringes that drain your blood from you. It's like, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh my gosh, I've been yapping for an hour. We're only like... I better speed it up a little bit. So, those are the 3 Digimon. Pretty cool. I have some clips now of their special attacks. And then one more video to watch after this. I'm gonna pause the song. Check this out. How does this look? That looks okay. Alright. It shouldn't be too loud, but here we go. Also, this is like the Time Strangers theme song, and there's like a moment at the beginning where there's like a weird sound, but it's like actually like a robotic voice that says, "Here we go," and now it gets me super hype every time. There it is, the air shot, the marching fishes, the demi dart. When I was watching this the first time, I was trying to name all the moves as they went. I don't know a lot of these. Heaven's Arrow. I don't know that one. That's the poop attack. I don't know that one. I don't know that one either. Another poop attack. I don't know that one. Diamond Storm. Blue Blaster. I don't know that one. That guy's really cool too. Agunimon. But you know, they don't have the audio of them saying on the names of the special attacks, but it's gonna be in the game. Nice. Very cool. Very epic. And then one bonus one. Now, I already teased Gundramon before, but he's in the game itself. He's actually in the game. There he is. Holy shit! Get the fuck out of the way! These guys are known as the Three Musketeers. I'm not really familiar with any of them, being honest, except for Gundramon. How do the Digimon fit into the story? Is that what you're saying? Like what? But yeah, I guess it is kind of different than what we're used to seeing. Oh, how does Digimon 4 fit into the story? Oh, oop. How it fits into the story, I don't really know. But the whole transforming into Digimons thing, I think like most people was like, I don't like that. That's not how it works. But after I watched it, that's like one of my favorite seasons. It's really good. I thought it was really good. And because I realized it's more about like the spirit of the Digimon. And I'm pretty sure that they say that like anyone can turn into those Digimon, like theoretically, you know. But they're the chosen ones, I guess. How it fits into the anime, though, I mean, into this game, I'm not sure. But they do have them in there, and they have armored Digivolutions as well. So that's cool. I know though that you aren't fusing and becoming a Goonimon like that. Like, you're not transforming. So it's probably, he's probably just like treated like a normal Digimon, you know? The song for that anime is good. Digimon always has good music. I don't know if I can remember it off the top of my head. Love me some Digimon. But next we'll move into music. You gave me the perfect segue and I flubbed it a bit. It's called Fire. It's just called Fire. Nice. Well, speaking of music, let's talk about some music. It's a slightly different format because I think that I might like something like this a little bit better. So it's a little bit less analytical, but more talking about more music in general in that way. So right now I just have some songs that I've been listening to. There's no surprise that I've been listening to Flow Glow. If you guys are following me on Twitter, because I talk about them and post about them sometimes and retweet their stuff or post to them. They're super fun. I'm loving the rap vibe, like the different kind of music vibe, and Vivi and Sue being big gamers, and Riona, Nico, and Chihaya also being really fun to watch. Even most recently, they did an English game of telephone with Hololive Justice versus Flow Glow, kind of. It was very good, very funny. Underneath that, I have some really old to me music, because I listened to this when I was in college. This was my work when I needed to get something done and focus. I would play one of these albums, usually the third one, Soon It Will Be Cold Enough. So it's by Emancipator, and it's like ambient trippy hip-hop music, and there's like not a lot of vocals in it. I think it's just really good. It's really good. We'll listen to it at some point. Right now, I actually have, our audio that we have. It's going to be in the VOD, so that's why I don't want to switch up to play other things. Sadly, they won't hear the cool Digimon Time Strangers music, but that's okay. I was too afraid to let that slip past the recording thing. And then, of course, I'm still listening to the Gigi and Cece's cover of not that song that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. I'm not feeling it today. Also, I could have made these pictures so much bigger. Oops. I took a screenshot of Cece and her angry face, because I liked it. But I'm always open to song suggestions, of course, and doesn't have to be now. You can always send them to me at any time, because clearly I have a bit of an issue branching out from the stuff that I'm already listening to, but I've kind of gotten over that as something I care about. If I like to listen to the same song 50 million times, I'm going to listen to it 50 million times. And then when I'm done listening to it 50 million times, I'll listen to a different song. It's not a big deal. Let's see. Okay, wait. Before we move on, then, we have a suggestion. Nurture by Porter Robinson. Why is this? I'm sure it's a great song. Okay, I laughed because the first result that popped up is like a kid laying in the grass face down, and I don't know, it just was really funny. I was like, what the? Who is that kid? It's an album, okay. Oh yeah, I see that. It's a second student album by Porter Robinson, released on August 23rd, or April 23rd. Okay. Might be, a hop skipping away from Emancipator. Should be pretty cool. That's him as an adult? I can't tell, like, the perspective is kind of odd. Maybe he is an adult. Like, his lower torso looks like that of an adult, but his body and head look like a child's. I could have put the picture on screen, but that's okay. But cool, man. Thank you. Music is one of those things fun to just absorb a lot of it, you know? I feel much more eager to try different types of music than I do like watching a movie or something, just because the amount of time investment. Not that my time is that important. Okay. Alright, man, I don't think I've ever seen that my stream have this kind of internet problem where it's literally like not okay and then it's fine, and then it's not okay and then it's fine, and then it's not okay and then it's fine. It's usually like not okay and gets worse and worse and worse and worse. But keep on trucking, I guess. Keep on trucking! I'm saying that to myself more than anything. And I can listen while doing anything else. Yeah, that's true too. Although there are times where I think you should let the music, like, you know, give the music a chance, you know. I used to listen to music like as a hobby. I feel like, you know, I don't know if I feel like a lot of people say they like to listen to music, but to me, if you say that you're like taking time to sit there and like spend time with the music, if that makes sense. But I don't want it to sound gatekeepy, but I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. The next thing should be pretty fun too. We're talking about VTubers and streamers. So we have a handful to talk about. Now this is just like screenshots of streams from events that I've seen, and I have their names below. Let me see. Oops. I have their names listed that we'll see as we go on, but this is just who I've been watching, and I hope that you guys either check them out or let me know who you've been watching. So first is Sakuna. So she just recently had an outfit reveal. This is actually last month, but she had a new outfit reveal, and I'm realizing now I didn't show the outfit. I guess you're gonna have to go and see the outfit on your own time, but she had two different hairstyles, which is what I was more okay, interested in is not strong enough, but obsessed about is too strong. Something in between those two words. Where she has a short hair and this like side braid. I'm a big fan of the side braid. So that actually happened last month, but I slid it in because I didn't talk about it last time. We have Miss Ui and Subaru here for Ui's birthday live, I believe it was. And that was really cool seeing them together, as well as their other guests. I really liked the stage on that one. It was a little hard to see in this picture, but it was like retro computer programs in a way. Like you can see in the back, she has like a folder, like a computer folder, and then like a Windows, old school like Windows pop up there with like the red square X in the corner, you know, and the blue bar going across the top. It was really cool. I was like, that's nice. That is nice. And I don't know, just a nice stage. Nice stage, nice performance. Later on, again, more Subaru, but this time with Watame and Watame's 3D live. I believe it was her birthday live. I did laugh because I said, this is one of the best ones I've ever seen. And was told that I say that every time. And then I was like, that's not true. That's so not true. And then I thought about it. I was like, no, it is true. But it's only true. It only looks true because I only talk about ones that I feel that way about. So the ones that I don't feel that way about, I just don't mention those. So it's like, it's both totally accurate and then also not accurate, but I'll take it. Also, I really like this picture. Another picture. What? Who did that? When was that done? What the heck, man? That's so... The algorithm really nailed you with that one, didn't it? Oh, you know, I didn't show the album on screen, or I would have put that on there too, but that's exactly right, basically. We have Watame from her... That same 3D live where she rode around on a giant robot. I mean... What career... How many careers can you say that you get to do that in? Oh, you've had it saved for a while? Oh, okay, okay. This was like a super random stream. Suisei, Fubuki, and Miko, they logged on and went to some VR world. And they like did a bunch of stuff. But, man, it was just really cool. I wish that they would do this all the time. I'm like really hoping Subaru does a VR walk around stream like this someday, because oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. Suisei's eating like a campfire burger. It's got like a little fire and marshmallows at the top of it. Fubuki's eating like a snow cone burger. I tweeted those two pictures and I was like, imagine eating burgers with your favorite idols. I got one random JP bro retweet. I was like, yeah. Here's Miko drowning in a vat of something and giving a Terminator reference. A good old wait, not Terminator. A good old I'll be back. But yeah, that is Terminator, right? I haven't seen Terminator. Let me just be honest. And then there they all are together. I love Fubuki's outfit too. It's probably one of my favorite outfits of all time. And I feel like I've only seen it here once. I love casual clothing on Hololive on VTubers in general. Underneath that we have CC, Fawawa, and Gigi. All these are screenshots that I've taken just like from their streams, by the way, because I take a lot of screenshots. I thought this was a good one. I like how Gigi and CC seem to be making Fawawa hold this bomb, even though that's not exactly what happened. But that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That bomb is too large. And then speaking of them, Hololive English Justice has their 3D showcase in August. I did not label them because their names are in the picture, so just look a little bit closer. And we will definitely be talking about that again in the future, but I thought I would mention it now. So what is a Hololive English Justice and what is a 3D showcase? Well, they are VTubers underneath the Hololive umbrella, and a 3D showcase means that they're going to be moving and walking around and hanging out, singing songs, and doing whatever the heck they want in a 3D form. So above here, you know, we have Fawawa hanging out in 3D, but Gigi and Cece are trapped inside paintings, Mario style. But soon they will be free. I was also thinking they should like boot up the 3D showcase with them in the painting and then like step out of the painting. You know, that would be kind of cool, right? Or like we could go into the painting and then they're in their 3D. Just to make the paintings feel less random, because they feel pretty random. They feel a little random, okay? But it's, you know what? Let's be happy that they're in frames now instead of just floating. Okay, next we have some more clips. We have some debuts and announcements from streamers. In this case, we have Koseki Biju and Mori Calliope's That's Wild fundraiser stream, which is live right now, still, as they're doing their 24-hour stream. I took a picture of them talking about the trip that they went to Thailand. CC and Gigi also went. They are also in the picture. That is not them in the bottom left picture. Don't be rude. Those are real monkeys. Don't go there, chat. But their trip to Thailand sounded pretty scary. I don't know if I, you guys tell me how you feel about this trip, and also maybe check out their stream to hear the real story. But one of the parts of their trip when they went to see these monkeys, for example, was that they saw the monkeys, and the guys that work at this place were like, so the monkeys started getting kind of riled up, okay, when they saw the group of the 4 girls there, right? And they were like, oh, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here, we gotta go, it's time to go. And they were like, well, why? And they said, oh, because that monkey hates women. That monkey hates women and can't stand them. And they were like, what? And then they told them the story about how that monkey was owned by some guy who, like, used to love it a lot. And then he got married and then spent all of his time with his wife. And now the monkey started to hate women. And I was like, what? That sounds like the craziest. That doesn't sound safe at all. And then there was stuff like, oh, don't get too close or they might rip out parts of your hair. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know if that doesn't sound fun to me. Being close to, I'm afraid of dogs. Some dogs. I don't think I want to be near a monkey that is known to hate women. Although I'm not a woman, I guess, so maybe we, I don't think I want to be friends with a monkey that hates women, actually. That's but that was wild. I love how they say that's wild. That's their current catchphrase. And they were doing kazoo karaoke earlier as well, and I'm realizing now Bibu's kazoo is like nowhere near her mouth, but don't worry, I shouldn't have pointed that out. It's kind of funny though. We also have, so now we do have some clips because we have 2 new VTuber debuts to check out. We're not going to watch the whole debut because one hasn't happened yet and one is way too long. But I thought I would introduce at least one person for now, 2 people. We have Saba, whose full name I don't remember, but we're about to find out. So Saba did her debut stream just the other day, and let's take a look at what I thought was one of the funniest moments from that stream. Paper, it was not the paper boat thing, but I did think to myself, I'm gonna say that too, aren't I? First of all, that just made me laugh anyway. I was like, what do you mean? What? Like, what? Who thinks of that? And then, oh, a QR code. All right, there it is. There's the photo. Pretty funny, pretty funny. I don't know, just like a silly moment, just like showing off some personality a little bit, some silliness. And I tried to do the QR code, but it didn't work for me. I saw on Twitter though that people were saying that it's takes you to the brain aneurysm, a brain aneurysm YouTube video where or something where it zooms in and it like has a fart sound. I don't know. It's like, what the heck? All right, so that was one. And on a different level, on a wholly different scale, we have another debut coming out later this week. It's from Yubari Ray. And we have her video here as well. And this one we will watch the whole thing since it's only a minute long, but let's check out what Ray has to say or offer. Hmm? The good thing you guys can't hear my thoughts because I was screaming. You wouldn't have heard anything. I just would have been me screaming the whole time. Very, very excited for the two of them. And I encourage you to support them if you are interested. You don't have to be like me and be so into it. You can casually be a fan too. I'm very interested in what Ray's streams are going to be like, as they said that they're going to be semi-infrequently, like once a month, and meant to be a nice break for hardworking grown-ups, as it says there. So while their language barrier will be quite strong, I'm going to do my best to get over it as best I can, and hopefully work hard to relax with Ray and everyone once a month. Next, we're in the last bit here as we look at last month's streams. Oh my gosh, it's a bit... Last month's streams, we are running around the middle of the pack in terms of hours. 50-ish hours for June. April being a really short one. I wonder why, but we know February and March had a ton of hours because of Avowed. And yeah, I don't know. Again, it's fun to look at how it's spent as I am constantly shaping how I want the channel to evolve. But during this month, we played Rimworld, we lost. We played Hitman, World of Assassinations, 007, Elusive Target. Very long description there. Pokemon, our Heart Gold Nuzlocke is still continuing, and you know, we paused that again for another weekend, I realized the other day. I felt bad about that. But it's because I'm going to be continuing it on July 4th weekend, when we have a few days in a row to hopefully do the last leg of the 8th Gym, Victory Road, and the Elite Four, and possibly get our first tier of reward. We played Parcel Simulator, which was a ton of fun. Legitimately one of the more memorable chatting gaming streams, as I realized I may really want people to remember my channel's gaming accomplishments, such as beating Hitman on Hardcore Freelancer, playing through Fallout 3, the Tale of Two Wastelands, playing through Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2. I learned that none of those things have been memorable, and that the only thing has been the hot dog and bumblebee balloon game. But I'll take it. I will so gladly take it. But that just made me laugh so hard. I was like, what do you mean that's the one that is remembered? The balloon hot dog game? Please, come up with more levels, developers. I'll play them, and I'll even pay for them. We also played the Egging On demo, which was really hard. But I actually, like, right at the very end, I clutched it out. I think I was pushed to a new level. We played one stream of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and since I'm being a bit meta and talking about how the stream is doing, that was like one of my most viewed streams, I think, like viewed by live people streams. And I'm like, why? My island sucked really bad, and I'm like at the beginning of the game. There was no reason for that, but maybe it just happened to be that way, you know? But I do want to play some more Animal Crossing. I'm just waiting until I'm at a point where I'm not staring at my screen for 4 hours and then being like, I don't know how to design it. I gotta like figure out the design and then grind it out on stream and hang out. Why not? I think that'd be better than watching me place a block down and then picking it up and then placing a block down for 3 hours. We also played Secret Agent Wizard Boy in the International Crime Syndicate. I might try to get some clips from that one, because the beginning was hilarious. Hilarious. If you like Harry Potter, and you like old school janky games, and you got $7, go check it out. What is next? Oh yeah, so what is next? What is next month? So next month we have a mystery, a blank game that we're playing today. Hooray! I just said that we're going to be playing more Animal Crossing sporadically, as well as more one-off indie games and demos. That's a thing that's always going to be happening on the channel if I can help it. And today, the Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke is on Saturdays. Actually, that's wrong. It's going to be like, you know, next weekend. It's like hopefully the last burst of that. And then a new RPG series is beginning after Pokemon. Now, I'm sorry I don't have an exact date, but, you know, it's kind of hard to plan this stuff out. So hopefully you can be cool with the loose schedule, but we are going to reveal what the new series is today. But before I do that, I wanted to ask a poll, and I will just ask very quickly. Don't think about it too hard. Which do you prefer, and not just from me, but in general, which do you prefer when watching narrative/long RPG series of games? Do you prefer scheduled weekly streams that happen less frequently, or consecutive streams that happen in a row? To me, there's advantages and disadvantages of doing both, and I genuinely cannot decide which is better. So for 100 cool points, if you answer this question for me, you can feel like you now have an additional 100 cool points. Don't ask me what you can do with those cool points. They're not valid in any formal institution. But I guess while I give people a chance to think, I'll think about what I would answer. I think back in the day, I would have said B, because I would have said, I don't remember the story. So I have to see the streams consecutively, or I'm not going to care. But now that I've been watching a lot of Hololive streams, and they do play these games, certain RPGs like weekly, I can see how number one can work. You think you prefer number one? Well, there's your 100 cool points. Congratulations. In the economy of cool points on Mashed Potato Flow's channel, you are now the 1%. You are now the richest person here. Congratulations. But yeah, I think I prefer one. But it kind of depends on the game. Like some games that are really episodic and chapter heavy, like you can really do the first one easily. But then games like Fallout 3, when I was trying to play that and like trying to figure out what we're doing, it was an added stress to like try to plan it while trying to keep it organic and loose. So I was just curious, because, you know, doing them in a row is great for people that are paying attention, but then there's going to be people that they miss a few days of streams and then suddenly they're like way behind and they're not going to catch up. So all right, maybe A is for the best, and then it could be like special events, special games, special weekends when we're doing B. But it's just a thought. Thank you, chat, for indulging me. Next, I think next is, hold on, I gotta look ahead. I kind of forgot what's next. Oh, next, we're gonna be talking about the next game in the series. The next RPG series. The next series of our channel. RPG series. Will be... Alright, imagine a drum roll while I get the video ready. Digimon Cyber Sleuth. Woo! Down the street. But yes, we will be becoming a hacker man. Yay! Very cool. Very exciting stuff. Yes, we'll be playing Digimon soon after we finish our Heart Gold Nuzlocke. So, you remember Moon playing a Digimon game? I would be surprised if it was Cyber Sleuth. It might have been Digimon World if it was like an old school Digimon game. But who knows? I don't know. It's long past are the days of me knowing everything that Moon is up to, but I used to be like that. I used to keep up with him, but now he's a Mario Kart gamer. Although, you know, I will be honest, I've been watching him play Mario Kart, but he did start playing something else too, I think, right? But yeah, we'll play Digimon Cyber Sleuth, and I got good news for once. We're gonna play on normal difficulty, and I'm for once not gonna. We're just gonna breeze through it, guys. Let's get the story. Let's get prepared for the next game, you know. And I'm gonna say this a bunch, but I would challenge people to not necessarily think about it as a Digimon game, but as an RPG with monsters in it, and see how you feel about it then. Because I think it's more interesting that way, kind of. And if we actually, hold on, if we look in this video for just 1 second, that looks fucking crazy. That has to be like the end of the game, like crisis, you have to stop this thing or everyone's gonna die moment, but oh my god. Like, that is a horrifying monstrosity. And I love when Digimon does the whole digital world mixing with reality. Oh, they do it a lot, but it's good stuff. Actually, this is getting really nerdy. I believe that Digimon just had some sort of big reveal where they revealed a whole other digital world. Because Digimon is kind of based on what's happening in the technology of the real world within the Digimon universe. And so in this case, they have found out there's a digital world that's based off of the data more found in Eastern Asian cultures, and it's called Shambhala, I think. There's Yggdrasil, some other one, and some other one, but I'll have to get into learning all about that at some other point and fill you all in. We'll definitely have a lore dump of Digimon stuff before that next game comes out. Maybe even before we play Cyber Sleuth. So that is it for our monthly chatting stream, and boy, it was a long one. I didn't mean for it to be this long, but I packed in some more stuff to show and tell and hope that it was kind of interesting. You can follow me on Twitter for going live tweets and other things. You can follow me. You can check out my YouTube for old VODs, or you can check out Twitch that you're already here. Congratulations for more recent VODs. Those buttons are right down below. And, you know, I put the down arrow there. I don't know how many people know about those buttons, but they're right there. They're so close for those that are interested. It's right there. Look, right down below. But thank you all, and thank you very much for listening to me yap. I would have never imagined I'd be capable of something like this. Now I'm getting really nervous. So let's move on to the next thing. Next, what are we doing after this? It's time. It's time for peak gaming to happen. I will be ascending the mountain on my own with I mean, not on my own, with chat by my side to help me. So I'll be playing Peak right after this stream. I'm gonna end this stream, go to the bathroom, do a bit of a stretch break and everything, and then we'll be back very, very shortly with our Peak stream. It's time. It is finally time, I guess, for Peak gameplay, and I told myself I was gonna make that joke, but here we are. Das, what's up though? Welcome. Hope you had a good stream earlier, and you're gonna join my run and kill me / me has a force feeds you a lollipop and makes you fall asleep and then pushes you off the cliff. I was surprised that this game doesn't have a push button. How does this game not have a slight push emote or something? You know what I mean? You know, like you could even like push your friend and then like grab them and save them real fast. But all right, chat, thank you again for being here. Lots of fun stuff coming our way, hopefully, and I will see you back here in just a little bit. Thank you again, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.